Oh, hello. I'm here with the fifth battle report on the channel, and this one is my Novitiates versus Zimbabwe's Kommandos. So again, we'll go through it, sort of well, not quite blow by blow, but turn by turn, and I'll try and give you some insight into what I did and why I did it. Obviously, my memory is flawed. I'm probably going to forget some bits and pieces. I try not to take too many. I don't take any notes while we're playing the game because we want to play the game, want to live our lives. But yeah, I'll go through it as best as I can. So on the left-hand side here, you can see how we deployed. I've got the vast majority of my things down here. All the specialists except for the crossbow lady, who's just under here, obscured by the terrain, and the comms, the baby Alligus, who's just down here. The scenario we were playing, I think it's escalating hostilities. It's the one where at the start of turn 2 and the start of turn 3, each player has to lose one of its home objectives until you're down to only 2 objectives in the middle, and then in point 3 and 4, those middle objectives are worth 2 victory points rather than 1. So why did I deploy quite the way I did? Well, my tactical objectives, I had to secure by the end of the game a piece of heavy terrain that was more than blue from my deployment zone. So at the end of the game, I'm trying to deploy this piece of terrain. So I'm kind of skewed onto this flank because I know that I want to have bodies ending up there. I'm also going to send some stuff down to the middle. And then I had my sniper here with the comms Dialogus extra action point character, because the idea is I'll be able to run the sniper forward, dash forwards, move to climb through the hatch here, and then have an action point if possible to snipe out. Over on Zimbabwe's side of the table, he spent a command point to deploy his sniper straight away up on the vantage point there. And the rest of his guys are all on a conceal. I can't remember exactly who and what is where, but I will try and point it out to you as we go along. So it was a pretty standard turn 1. It was mostly much ado about concealed characters moving into position. As I wanted to, I managed to get my crossbow up into position. I didn't get to shoot anything whether that extraction point was wasted, just because Zimbad was able to wait until the very last turn before revealing his rocket boy, which was the only thing that was eligible to shoot, because the only one that you can see there ended up being on an attacking order, because we both had the thing where you can flip one of your orders over to engage. I didn't manage to make use of that, he did. Everything else on both sides, people are just moving in terrain. Zimbad had slightly more heavy terrain on his nearer his deployment zone, so he had these little, I don't even know what they are, the little towery gantry things. So he's got some orcs up behind them. I'm kind of mainly clustered up behind this big thing, but I ended up with a few things out in the open. But I did manage to get onto the objective, so I'm on the objective there. I've come through the door and I'm on the objective here. I've got my relic bearer on the objective here. And so really what I'm thinking at this point in the game, I'm wanting to make some kind of play for the middle. So I've got my banner that's come over the scramble terrain, heading towards getting within blue of the midpoint for holding the centre. And I got my 3 objectives down, and these are consolidating around here to sort of score that one, and make a little force up there so that I'm not going to get dislodged from this objective. On to turn 2, so on the left of the screen you can see a copy of the same picture we ended on last time, and on the right you can see where we ended up at the end of turn 2. I forgot to mention on the last slide, and I should have done, the one piece of action that happened in turn 1 was the rocket here. Did loose a rocket, didn't kill anybody, but did some damage. So these orange d8s away, you can see wound dice. That happened in turn 1. On to turn 2. So this objective here was the one that disappeared. I I had moved towards the end of the turn. I moved that there is the Diologus. She moved up to be holding the middle and the objective. Sniper's still in place here. The rocket boy had done another shot. I think he killed off at least one character here, and then hid back down the bottom to avoid the sniper, so it was shoot and then run away. My really annoying part of the game. So there was at the start of the turn, there was an orc. I think it was just a normal shooter boy up here. So he came down to here, and he tried to get a shot off at my mace bearer, who was here originally. You can see her here on this side, and I denied him that shot. I think it was the mace bearer. It might have been someone. I think it was actually this girl here, right, who's on the objective, the chainsaw one that was here. And I denied him that shot by using an act of faith that went, oh, well, you're hidden, right? And so he didn't have anyone else in range because he only had a slugger. So he just moved back and stopped there and actually charged in then with the chainsaw one at him, right? Managed to knock him down to the 5, and then I thought I could finish him off with my superior, but just, you can't see it from the picture, but when you drew the cover lines, it was just this tiny little nubbin of the building here. You could not draw, couldn't get the angle, so I was kind of left hanging out here with this orc here. There was a second orc that I managed to kill. Again, I think just a basic one that was up here that I managed to kill in close combat with my duelist, but that one got finished off, so he ended up with 2 of mine dead, 1 of his dead, and 1 of his on half health, kind of in this corner. My relic bearer, you can see she's on 1 wound there. She nearly got killed off by orc shooting, but I managed to bring her back with the medic, who's kind of hunkering down here. I can never remember the name, the lady with the whips, she'd moved forwards to apply pressure here, but again, a combination of orc shooting and this close combat going on here. I lost quite a lot of miniatures, but in fairness, he lost quite a lot of orcs this turn as well. Snipers on both sides still in play, and by the end of the turn, I got my second point here for holding the middle. I got a point from this objective. I still had this objective. Zimbad had his home objective that you can't quite see. I think he whipped it off just before I took the photograph, but he had a home objective there, and his objective there. Turn 3. So coming into turn 3, it had been by this point quite a lot of a bloodbath. There was lots of casualties on both sides. The sniper here eventually died to getting this rocket boy to the head, but not before she'd killed the orc in the middle here. Here's the knob. The knob's coming up by the end of turn 3. He kind of in the back hiding the whole game long. The bomb squig came out and killed, I think, was both of these characters in the middle. Died to the bomb squig. Still got my little force. Oh no, sorry. The ones that were in the middle there had died to the bomb squig. These 2 girls are the ones finally that had run out from sort of having hunkered down a little bit here. And again, there'd been some general exchanges of fire and shooting attacks that had whittled things out. But really, the play, the play of the game was all concentrated around these middle objective points. So again, I'm holding this one, but it's not looking, it's very tenuous. You can see they're being whittled down. You can see the orange wound dice there, they've been whittled down by enemy fire. The orcs got quite this fire base. There was never any real way that I was going to get up to this top corner to assault this fire base with my basic plan that was around hunkering down on this bunker. The sister superior really fluffed a close combat, so the orc that was here charged in. She rolled really, really badly. The orc was left on 1 wound. I killed off the orc with the martyrdom, where you spend a command point and you get to do one mortal wound. So that ended up with sort of mutual destruction there. Yeah, it was a really, really, really bloody turn. Obviously, I'm bringing up my cup, my Relic Seeker, to try and farm points from this one now. I'm just bringing up my Medic is still hunkered down here. My Diologus has come over here. She sort of came over the scrap pile. I think actually assaulted this Orc. You know, sometimes it's worth doing, but that's why she's on only a few wounds. Because you can see on the previous turn, the Orc there's only on the 4 wounds. And yeah, both of us got very, very few pieces left. Very bloody game. So we come to the final turn. There's not really that much to say here. So the Rocket Boy. So first of all, you can see this Orc. No, sorry, that's the Knob. So the Knob came across here, close combat against the sister. But before that happened, I'd actually moved. I thought it was a really clever ploy, right? So I'd moved my Diologus along. She'd done the charge scramble action across the thing, didn't actually fight the Knob, and then deployed this thing here, which is her thing she can fire out that gives -1 ballistic skill. My idea was that the Orcs up here would then be stuck with -1 ballistic skill, and the Rocket Boy would have to either move or have the -1 ballistic skill. But what Zimbad did that I didn't really foresee was he jumped down with the Rocket Boy, assaulted me there, leaving it. That's how his Rocket Boy ended up left over here, and then that freed up his Knob, as I said earlier, to come over and take out my Relic Seeker here, right? As to why the Hospitaller ended up moving forwards, had it been a tournament game, I'd have kept the Hospitaller back because I knew that I wasn't going to win, but I could have scored 2 points from holding onto this objective. But by the end of turn 4, I kind of realised that Zimbad was going to win by a point if that happened. So what I decided to do was move both of my miniatures up so that I had more AP on this objective. So it was just possible, if the Knob had totally fluffed his rolls and I'd been able to keep this Relic Bearer alive, then I would have held the objective here and still been in range of this to score the 2 VP here, and could then have actually potentially won the game. Although even then, we didn't actually measure it, but I think the proximity of the Knob to the heavy terrain there would have done me the second half of that objective. It was a really close game. As usual, I've not particularly done it justice in my summation, but it was a good fun game, and I've got a couple of thoughts that I'll go into on the next slide about a couple of things. The Kommandos are a really cool team to play against. The Novitiates are a really cool team still to play with. I still think that my most fun and enjoyable games are playing the 2 bespoke teams against each other. This is not the same thing as saying that the bespoke teams are better. I just think it's a more enjoyable game when everyone's got characters and bits that are doing things. So another victory. It was a close victory, but it was another victory for the Kommandos. I feel like I don't think I've won a single game with the Novitiates, and part of me wants to pivot to another. Like, I'd won games with Ministorum with the Power Armored Sisters of Battle. The Novitiates are having a bit of a learning curve, and the learning curve's kicking my ass a little bit. I can't seem to quite. Maybe I have to at some point face the idea that even though I love the lore and the aesthetics, they don't quite fit my play style. I need something a bit more solid, right? Something closer to the Ministorum Sisters, or even something closer to like a Space Marine team. But I think for a while anyway, I'm going to persevere with the Novitiates and see if I can kind of crack it. I really enjoyed playing on the Octarius terrain. I'm really glad I took the opportunity to put that together and paint it. It made the game much easier for me because it was much easier just to see what's going on. As much as I love the Mechanicum terrain, it's like with those really tall structures and the little legs, it's very hard to kind of look at it and see intuitively where your cover lines are and what's going on. Whereas with the Octarius terrain, it's really functional. It's really functional, easy to use. And the way I've painted it up, you know, like I say, it blends in with the table. Like I said in the painting video, it looks pretty cool. It looks very much part of the background and the scenery. It doesn't detract from the models that I think all the models that we used were pretty brilliantly painted. I think that's pretty cool. And it was a really enjoyable game with really enjoyable spectacle. I'm sure I've missed loads of details. I think I need to think. Every time I say this, someone pops up in the comments and goes, no, don't worry about the format of your battle report. But I think I need to do something to try and make sure that I remember more details of what happens in the games. But like I've said before in previous videos, it's that balance between wanting to have a really fun game while you're having it and then still document it for the YouTube channel, and so that you've got like a record of how you're doing. And, you know, the higher, I'm sure, if you ask anybody that produces like a really polished battle report where a lot of work's gone into it, you say, but did you enjoy the game though? And they're probably, if they're being honest with you, they'd say, well, no, we didn't, because we had to keep stopping to do things and that. Unless you go the whole of the way and you can have two people that are generally playing and having fun because you've got a team. You know, if you're like Warhammer Plus and you've got a team of people working the cameras and doing the editing for you, so you can actually just get on with the game. That's one thing. But if you're a one-man band like most YouTubers, if you're going to up the quality, then it's going to detract from your leisure time. And ultimately, I'm not doing this to make money. I'm doing this to just sort of as a record of what's going on. So if I can think of any easy tweaks to get some more detail in there, I will certainly do that for you. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, any questions, any comments, anything really egregious that I've missed out, please do ask down the bottom. I'm sure if you look in the comments, somebody's probably already typing, it's not important, but actually on turn 3, these 6 things happen that I somehow remember because I am the memory man. That is what he does. Right, hope you have a really nice rest of the day, and as it is currently the 21st of December, I hope you have a really nice Christmas. I don't know if there's going to be any more uploads between now and Christmas. It's obviously mad busy and things. I would at least hope to get something out, maybe only one of those little short videos if they do a Christmas Day preview that's Kill Team related. I feel in my bones, I can't prove it, that I think what's going to be teased on Christmas Day is going to be the 40k box, Eldar vs Chaos one, but it's possible, it's just possible we get some Kill Team news, and if we do, I will at least put up some kind of reaction for it. Alright, thanks for listening, and as I've already said, because I'm rambling now, have a really great rest of your day. Thanks everybody, bye.